Oh, good evening, friends. How are you all this evening? So great to be with you. My name is Nicholas Vaselli. I'm the artistic director of Theater Breaking Through Barriers. And yeah, here it is. We're 2 minutes late tonight. I'm sorry about that. But we are indeed coming to you live from right here in heart of the heart of everything, the heart of the Thunderdome, right here in beautiful Midtown Manhattan. And on behalf of all of us, all of our artists, all of our board, our administrative team, I cordially welcome you to, I guess I should say, take two of Theater Breaking Through Barriers' third Hybrid Playmakers Intensive, or HPI3 DRAMAPHEMERA. Here's the catch: the Lost Plays. For those of you who have been watching, you probably have heard me say already, but what we did was we did our third Playmakers Intensive from April the 28th through May 4th. On May 4th, we scheduled a live performance in front of a studio audience of 6 brand new plays. It was our plan to simulcast those plays, stream them to you live in the studio as they were happening, so you would sort of get a chance to experience the plays as they were being performed before a live studio audience. Well, unfortunately, technical problems ensued, and we did not have that opportunity. But we are very happy about the fact that we filmed those plays for our archives, and we get to share them with you every night this week. So we've had Monday night, we opened up with a play by Charlie Quinn. Last night, we did a play by Peter Mark, and we have a wonderful show for you tonight. I have to tell you, I love this playwright. Enrique Huili is a wonderful artist, a wonderful writer, and a wonderful actor. And like our playwright last night, Peter Mark, he's got such an interesting perspective and an interesting view on life. He's got a very unique style. So we're going to crawl around in Enrique's head after this, but I want to introduce everybody because we get a chance to do this. So everyone, come on screen for a second. It's so great that we're able to, there we go. Oh, Veronica, Fareeda, Enrique, and Jack Sims, our director. We are missing one performer tonight, Joel Jones, who is also really wonderful and actually worked with us for the first time in this intensive. But he's in Europe right now. So, he's pretty much having to suffer in Europe, and he's missing his premiere. So I'm sorry about that. Joel, when you do get a chance to see this, know that you are missed and we love you. You guys, I know that you guys have all done intensives with us, both live and virtual. And this is the first time that we're actually doing an intensive where the work that you were going to be showing everyone, you've already performed. So you're not even performing tonight. You just have to sort of watch yourselves perform. And I'm really sort of curious to know I mean, Jack, you directed it, and Enrique, you wrote it, so you sort of saw it already. But I'm going to address this primarily to Fareeda and to Veronica. How do you guys feel about watching yourselves? You first, Fareeda.
I'm really coming to learn because primarily I have, of the work I've done, it's a lot of audio work and a lot of stage. And there's just not an aspect of watching oneself. And self tapes and things like that for auditions, it's so immediate that there's not really anything jarring. So I'm really coming to learn that my thought of what I'm doing and how it looks is so different from what I'm doing and how it looks.
Yeah.
When something gets filmed and I'm not watching it right away or not controlling how it's filmed, that I'm just keeping an open mind for surprises and, not being really critical. I think it's sometimes hard to be like, oh, that little piece of hair was there the whole time, and getting distracted by stupid things. But I'm finding it actually a really interesting discovery. It's sort of like hearing your own voice when you start doing voice work or learning to sing, and you're listening to yourself. It's kind of jarring at first, and then hopefully this is all part of learning and growing as an artist. So fingers crossed I didn't have any toilet paper on my shoe the entire time. I guess we'll find out.
No, I don't think you did. Although that would have been very funny if that was the case, because we would have certainly had a blast talking about it. But I get it. How about you, Veronica? How do you feel about watching yourself? I'm going to ask Enrique too. I can ask all of you because you guys you're all performers as well. Do you have any particular feeling about it either way?
Uh, I find it terrible. I mean, but I really need to know, like, I really do need to see. So
Yeah.
it can be very useful as an actor to learn things about what you think you're doing and then how it looks later and how in the moment you were, or, things like that. And
Mhm.
self tapes have helped immensely, I
Yeah.
find, because you just have to get used to it and look at yourself more as an object while you're editing and look at it and say, well,
Hmm.
does that look like something I've seen on TV that I would enjoy? Am I engrossed or not? And so it really helps you sort of learn certain technical elements that maybe actors normally wouldn't have to learn.
Hmm. I agree. I think it's a great tool. I think it's really, really important. Certainly the Z's, I refer to the Gen Z, they're so used to filming themselves all the time and really looking at themselves and taking pictures of themselves all the time. And it's sort of like nothing. But I
Right.
know growing up, especially as a stage actor, you don't really do that very often. So it is very jarring at first to have to say, ooh, a lot of times you're watching, the first thing you do automatically is you watch yourself, right? That's the first time you watch it. And then you're sort of saying, gee, I know when I was doing that, when I was in that moment, I was feeling this way. How come it doesn't look that way? Or maybe it does. And you're sort of, okay, good. At least that came across. But it's a strange thing. Do you have any thoughts on that, Enrique?
Oh, yeah. My feeling is the most boringest answer is that I absolutely can't stand it. Just because I actually don't even have a reason why I can't stand it, but I will like piggyback on what Veronica said. Like because of self-tape, I have to always edit, so now I have to get used to it. And the one thing that I really learned about self-tape and watching myself, even though I think it's as yourself, it's hard to like decide whether you're a good actor. But one thing I learned about self-tape and your face and whatnot is like technical, like how big of a frame you have to tell a story sometimes on
Hmm.
camera, and you don't want to be like moving too much or maybe moving like unnecessary facial movements when you just trust yourself that it's in you and you
Hmm.
just need to tell the story and say the lines. That's what I really actually found really useful watching myself is just like, oh, I don't have to move. I don't have to make sure that I look alive on camera. Camera sees everything so intensely and picks up all the subtlety that's what I really like about watching myself now in the aspect like, okay, am I hitting my technical like notes on camera?
Hmm. Yeah, that's another aspect that again, when you do theater, when you're trained as a stage actor, which is why if you watch like early films that were made like in the 1930s and 40s, you see a lot of actors who basically were brought from the stage to Hollywood and they haven't yet learned that discipline of you're performing like you're on a stage. Everything is bigger, everything is more animated, and it looks kind of silly on a especially when the camera's like right there. Um, do you have any thoughts on this, Jack? I saved you for last. I'm sorry, we're doing a talk back before we do the screening, but I apologize. We're going to jump right into the picture in a second, but I just want to ask, I just wanted to make sure I asked you that.
Sure. And Enrique allowed me to interpret it. He to make it the way I thought it should be done. And the the actresses, were cued in on everything. So for me, I'm looking to see the things that I asked them to do.
Hmm.
They did, and they did them very well. I'm curious to see how organic the moves I asked them to make look.
Well, we're going to get a chance to do that all right now. So thank you all. And we'll talk more about this on the other side of this. But in the meantime, turn off your cameras and let's get this party started, shall we? Hang on one second. Let me just get the film queued up. Here we go. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, without any ado, sit back, relax, and enjoy Enrique Huili's Celestial Warlords.
You're more than welcome to take your shoes off. It's a sign.
I have been here before. You worry too much.
Do I?
Indeed.
You talk different.
I find it normal.
Dad said that he wouldn't.
Did you feel your stomach drop?
Yeah, he said that he wouldn't be able to come tonight.
That's his right, isn't it?
We brought tons of paper maches like Mom used to hang over balconies and the honeycombs. I like the one with the nuclear power plants facing the trees. You were just old enough back then to keep pushing me on the swings.
Was I?
Don't you remember?
Oh, of course, don't be silly.
Right.
I remember lost of things,
Come again?
but I'm already here.
Lost?
Lost. Participle passive from lose. 1. Mislaid or left in a place unknown or forgotten that cannot be found.
You
Like a
were
lost book.
very smart.
Thank you.
I don't remember your hands being so cold, though.
Don't be silly. See how I smile?
Yes.
Is it the same?
So you are aware?
Aware. 1828 as watchful, vigilant, or...
Yeah, I get it.
Why are you crying?
I'm just so happy to see you.
But I've known you your entire life.
No, that's right.
I do have rights.
Sorry?
I do have rights.
Yeah, I know. I'm not trying to...
Trying? I'm getting sick of this game.
No, I'm not trying to play any games.
You keep throwing words that were burned before the moon, or even before Germany. January 30th, 1933.
Oh.
Words that could be needlessly said, washed out by your own 2 hands. Hands are merciless, but not kind. Don't get that twisted. Or don't be ignorant. I can't remember which one comes first. But I'd like to pretend we were still turning in report cards. That was fun.
I don't know. You are not much of a braggart. You never have been.
It was fun. I never meant to hurt your feelings.
So you do remember everything?
Well, don't be silly.
I feel a confession as a story or as a monolith can be so misleading to the public, and our sole purpose is to impose/create our sights and sounds for the public. In totality, bring facts and figures to the public. And I can't stand when someone says to me that facts and truths are the same thing. What most people don't realize is that we, as a monopoly, can only understand unforeseeable grief, which is just the streamline to the unbearable being. What is the most easiest thing to understand is that the male race is on a brink of extinction. Do I care? That's a good question. I wonder what my wife would have thought. But I killed her. Luckily, luckily the government funded my studies, my experiments. You see, by quickly analyzing and synthesizing cell components, well, I won't bore you with that. Is a confession supposed to be data or chaos? I brought my wife back. Of course, I have to thank my team. I couldn't have done that without them. It started only cloning toenails, then we moved on to curved thumbs. Now that was the hardest part. But as soon as we broke through that barrier, oof, it was like only eating protein shakes. She was able to remember everything, how I looked, how I smiled, how we made love. She even remembered me attending superiority meetings, but it didn't affect her any longer. We were able to understand brainwaves with more frequency. We could control certain desires. Now all she can do is say how much she loves me over and over again. The only thing is she can't stop crying as she loves me. But she's white, Caucasian. I'm not interested. All right? We don't need to bring them back. No. That was always a fool's game. No. I am only interested in bringing back others and to see what they do to each other. Brainwaves. Brainwaves. Synthesizing protein. Well, you get it, don't you? You better.
I don't know what the guide is.
How about I love you?
I love you too.
I love you.
Yeah, I love you too.
I love you.
Okay.
I
Thanks.
love you.
Are we okay?
I don't see why we wouldn't be.
I just want my sister back.
But we don't have any other sisters.
No, I know. I just want to be the little sister again.
You will always be.
But in order to heal again, don't we need to?
Okay?
Well, I don't want you to be different.
Okay.
I want you to be who you are. I don't want you to change. I know you love me so. They said that you would remember everything.
I remember in 5th grade when I held your hand and dead leaves were falling everywhere. You smiled.
Then why?
And you cried and I was able to bring back any kind of muffin you wanted. You just had to ask.
I don't want you to be different.
Please don't cry.
Okay. Maybe we just need to work.
Sure.
Okay. Oh, how about this? Do you remember the last time? You were hungry?
2:47 p.m.
You're sorry?
I was hungry today at 2:47 p.m.
You see, brainwaves are everything. My wife can no longer see that, but that's the sacrifice we all have to make for the greater good of our country. Now, once we were able to finalize everything, there were no issues getting approval. I mean, no issues. I was able to set standards and regulations. At first, I thought it was a joke. I mean, but my God, I was able to control agencies that never existed before. Now, the first conversations we had were about who we were going to bring back next, because bringing back chickens and cows just was too easy. Nobody wanted Brian Ho, first-generation Vietnamese. Mitchell Lawrence was the first person we brought up. And he was murdered, and don't let anyone tell you otherwise, in the 2028 riots. This is when I introduced the lust for blood. Which many were confused by, but luckily I had the floor. And my God, it felt better than making love to my wife. She can no longer say she raped me. I introduced the lust for blood. Why? No living human can function if all of its blood is drained from its core, its body. You can survive a gunshot, you can survive a knife wound, you can survive a plane crash. You can, well, you get my drift. But if you ever were to lose all of your blood, then you cease to exist. Now, with brainwaves and lust for complete blood, then they started to pay attention. As long as we don't focus on bringing back the whites, we may have a chance for avoiding extinction. Man is no longer in danger, and we can thrive, and oh, how much we deserve to thrive. Of course, we had our doubters, but that was an easy fix. I just killed my wife again, and 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 again. The only problem is she can't stop crying as she loves me.
2:47 p.m.?
I wouldn't bring that up.
But why not?
I just said I wouldn't bring that up.
But I could make you something. You know, it's been so long since we've had a meal together. I could make you tacos and shrimp.
I can't eat that.
But I thought they said that you would be the exact same.
It doesn't have to do with tacos and shrimp.
Are you on a diet?
Diet. Food and drink
Oh my God,
regularly
stop it.
provided or consumed. I don't want to see you cry again.
I just want my sister back.
I'm here.
I just would like to eat food with you. Is that so much to ask for?
Whenever I eat food, I immediately throw up any kind of man-made food.
Okay.
Don't you know me?
Okay. Maybe we need to heal. They told me you would remember everything. Do you remember taking your own life?
I don't know that one.
Then we had the most intriguing case come my way. Many kill themselves all the time, but I really wanted to test myself. I desperately needed to test myself. For our plan can't have any loopholes. Man can no longer suffer. I found someone who took their own life because of the shade of their own skin. So they no longer wanted to exist in a world solely based on how they looked. Now, I can absolutely work with that. In order to extinct a race, well, that had never been done, and it's time for me to be put to the maximum drive, the maximum male species. God, how I lust for brainwaves. It was only a matter of time. Create the lust, the desire, the need to completely drain blood. The subject can drain the blood of a human completely by eating it. Never craving food any longer. It solely lives for draining blood of others. Now, ultimately, the lack of nutrition would expose those clones into a quagmire where only weeds can grow, uncontrollable weeds that continue to expand and into the ether of time. No acknowledgement of time and space. All the planets are flat. And expose yourself into a void of choices. And we no longer need to choose. Everything will be chosen by us. And we were able to protect the animals. I made sure of that so I could get my Nobel Peace Prize.
I'm going to need you to stop freaking out.
Please.
What?
Don't you know who I am?
I remember everything. Stop insulting me. I'm not a baby anymore.
And who are you?
Why did you say I tried to take my own life?
Yeah, you didn't try.
Funny. I always remembered you being a lot cooler than other children. You were the first person to cover me up when I pissed myself in school.
I'm always going to protect you.
You were the first person I smeared shit on their face and beat you into the playground, making you beg for mercy.
Okay, I think we need to get some air, don't you?
I just want to be closer to you. Closer to you.
Okay, listen. We can go get help. Maybe something went wrong, you know? They said that you were going to remember everything.
I love you.
Okay. I'm always going to protect you.
I love you.
Please listen to me.
I love you.
Okay, stop it! Just stop it. God. Oh, God. What did I do?
Hey, you saved my life.
Please come home.
I'm almost there.
I want my mom.
A modern Dracula was born. And all the trees that faced the nuclear power plants no longer existed. It was time for my children to come home and cleanse our sins. I decided I no longer wanted to be married anymore. Listen, I'm doing it for my country.
It's better that you get closer to me.
Please put that down. You're scaring me.
I just want to fix how you look.
Please
The
put it
color
down.
of you've always been good with knives.
Stop that.
That's what my father
It's
always
sharp.
told me. Didn't he tell you?
Stop that. You're
I'm
hurting me.
so thirsty. I'm so thirsty. I can't stand
Then
it.
why can't you eat?
I just want a taste. Give me a taste.
You know, they always say life is too short, ephemeral beings. That's the biggest lie of all. As your confessor, as your arbitrator, and spoken from high above, the truth is life is just too fucking long.
Wow. Oh, I have to tell you guys that I love, first of all, I loved all of your work in that. I thought it was such a great play, a great piece, really. So exciting and kind of Twilight Zone-ish and kind of like there's a million ways we can go in this discussion. So thank you guys so much. Where's Veronica? Veronica, come on back. Are you there?
I'm here.
Okay. First of all, I have to tell you, and again, the way we pair this together, it's all random. But you guys, Fareeda and Veronica, you could be sisters. I mean, you really, it just worked so well. And you played it so well, so beautifully. My goodness, I loved it. Enrique, what did you think of this? Come on, I want to know your opinion. Then I've got to ask you, where does this come from?
I mean, honestly, first of all, I was kind of floored how well it came out on camera as well, because I remember being there in person
Yeah.
and being so like shocked. Nick, I only went to the first read through and then I never went to any rehearsals because I kind of like just giving it away for them to all work and collaborate. And
Sure.
so when I went to go see it, it was my first time and it just blew me away. And watching it now,
Mhm.
just like you can hear it so well. It's great to have the text on the
Mhm.
bottom also. And I just felt like the movement, it was so well. I was very, very pleased. Thank
Uh,
you. It was wonderful.
no, are you kidding? It's a pleasure. I'm sorry. The camera was, I had a stubborn tripod and I was setting it and it just kept creeping back. I'm like, get back there. There's a
It worked.
Mhm. So, all right. Tell me, I want to know, like, first of all, when you had your first meeting with everybody, where this came from and how you were like, what ideas did you extract from just talking to everybody? And then how did that get you to where we ended in this piece?
Um, well, we all met up on Zoom, and I think we just kind of like introduced each other and got to know each other very briefly. And I think the thing I asked specifically, since I was writing for all of them, and it, like you said, it was randomly selected. Uh, I just kind of like wanted to know like little things about them that kind of quickly informed me of like whatever random ideas would come to my head. So we kind of talked about like genres and like what kind of storytelling we like or we like to see. And that was really useful for me. And I explained them my process of writing and what kind of stories I like to do that are more, I guess, maybe you can say like a little more experimental and absurdism, because it's something I've always loved. And that was really helpful. And then once I got all that information, I didn't really tell them exactly what idea I had or even like theme I was going with.
Mhm.
I was just listening to them, and by after like listening to them, and Jack was like, "Oh, you have until like Monday to give me to hand in the script." I was like, "Oh,
Yeah.
crap, that's so soon."
Mhm.
I got nervous, and that nervous actually made me realize like, oh, I think I want to write my like first sci-fi play. And that really sparked me. And I think within, I don't know, Jack, was it less than, less
Friday.
than 72
Friday. You
hours?
gave it to me on Friday.
Yeah, I gave it to him like immediately. And I was so excited when I got the idea of just kind of coming up with this sci-fi cloning. I mean, if you're not familiar with Carol Churchill's play Number, which is
Mhm.
about cloning and stuff, that was also like a huge inspiration. And then I just wanted to throw some vampires in it, and that came out of me.
It's just like, yeah, how do we get to like a futuristic sort of annihilation? There's a lot of discussion in here about uh race and gender, male and female, and all of that. I find it all very what certainly evocative of where we are right now in our world, and it's always evocative, but yet I think now because of uh, the great opposition that we are finding, the great how we're also pulled apart, it just sort of exists in a in a very pronounced way. Um, I'm assuming that that was all in there because of this. I'm, almost like this is where we're headed. It
Y-
just made me think
Yeah,
of
absolutely. I
it
mean,
made me think of a million different things. But
hmm.
yeah, but you were saying that's pretty much it. Like that's yeah, I love it. I love it. There was a movie the other day, sort of a documentary movie called, well, it's political. It's 20, the movie was called, was it 2037? And it was a movie that sort of talks about, I don't want to get into politics, but it does talk about sort of a possible of where we are now and where it leads us into by the time we get to 2037. And there's like elements of that in this, you know. At the same time, there was a movie that was out a couple of months ago called Mickey 17, which also has that element of like this, you know, this guy that ends up going on this space project and he decides he's going to be an expendable, which basically means they just can genetically reproduce him over and over and over again. Like they'll send him out on these missions where he'll just get killed and then they just bring him back again. There was something about that there is in this as well. The vampire thing was kind of like, wow. Jack, from the way you guys were, from the way Enrique was speaking, did you guys, did you have any ideas or feedback that you gave to him after he's presented his first draft? Was there anything, did you work on this? A lot of times a playwright will work with the director, and I'm just curious.
When in the first meeting, we talked about absurdist theater. He mentioned Churchill. I mentioned the UNESCO. We talked about that. He said he liked to do things with an edge to it. And I remember saying, I like something that has a misunderstanding, and I like things that are driven by misunderstanding. So the girls had things that they brought to it also. So we just had a really nice. Vigorous conversation that first time, and like Enrique said, then he just gave it to us. Man, I do remember him saying, "Monday, you want me to have this on Monday?" And I said, "Well, you know, the first draft," and he had it to me on Friday.
Yeah.
So when they got it into his head what he wanted to do, he didn't mess around. And the very first reading, the girls were already in character, and some of the things that you're talking about being subtle. You know, the father didn't want the daughter cloned. And there was a lot of in Fareeda's character, there was a lot of almost she wanted to embrace her, but she had misgivings. She did this against her father's will to do this, and that sort of two sides. I thought she played very well, and I just loved what the girl and Veronica was so morbidly ethereal. I just thought they were both. I thought from the very get-go, and then we just solidified exactly how we wanted to like it. But the girls had it from the get-go.
Yeah, such I have to say, it's it was kind of I once again very on just a very random occurrence. We ended up having a dream team because you guys worked so well together and everything just really clicked. I know, Jack, you're a wonderful actor. You're an incredible artist. And this was the first time you directed for us. Do you do a lot of directing?
I did. I did. I did a lot of off, and I did some staging of things. From when I worked at the opera, I was able to do some things outside the opera that you know, make a picture, then move it to another picture, make a picture, move it to another picture, which was fun. I haven't for a while, but this was certainly a wonderful experience.
Well, you're amazing. I mean, I love you dearly. I love your work. Again, I'll take any way I can get you, but I definitely want you to direct more because you really are wonderful. And I'm sorry, Fareeda and Veronica, you guys were just and Joel was amazing. Like all of you just really kind of nailed it. It was so polished. Like you guys just had so much going on with this. And again, I've worked with you so many so many times in a lot of different ways. Fareeda, you actually are an incredible writer. You wrote in the last intensive, and to see your acting chops, you're just amazing. Sorry, I don't want to just keep making it all about flattery, but I don't know what else to say because it's
I don't mind flattery. Flattery's great.
um tell me how you guys reacted the first time you read this.
Well, I'm glad that we had a reference to Carol Churchill, because there was something there were a lot of layers of what exactly is happening. It's not a text that really lends itself to a cold read and like, oh yeah, I know how this sounds, or I know what's going on. I think a few of us felt that way.
Mhm.
And so I think the very smart decision, and I really commend the entire group, is that everybody was willing to meet a few times before we met in person, and to really kind of meet extra times and go through layer by layer.
Mhm.
And so the first impression is I really didn't know what this was, but I knew that I was very intrigued. I really didn't know what was happening on the first read. I was like, oh, there's something. Who is this doctor? Is he related to us in some way?
Mhm.
So there was definitely a lot of mystery and intrigue, but there's almost a vibration to Enrique's text where it feels like it's come from a very pure, clear place, where like he seems very clear on what's happened. And that comes out in the text, even though it feels like, wait, what exactly is going on here? And then I think Jack did an amazing job of keeping us very practical
Mhm.
and giving us very simple direction. And I think this speaks to both Jack and Enrique's, I don't know if they had multiple conversations, but it felt like they were completely on the same page of what is the world that we're in. You know, I'm sort of playing the straight character who is the one that is maybe most from the audience's point of view. And then we have these two kind of more heightened characters. And I felt like stylistically, we were all on the same page in terms of what our performances need to be. And then Veronica, even in the first cold read on Zoom, I was getting so much from her in intention, in energy. And sometimes that doesn't happen until like right when you go up, right, with somebody, and then they kind of turn it on. But every single time Veronica was fully invested, and it was actually very simple for me, because I just had to react to be like, what's going on? What's this?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was my experience. I think I went beyond the question you asked, but I started from the question you asked. So I'm just going to stop.
But I love that. No. I loved it because I mean, it also reminded me of this other element to this piece, which was the way it unfolds and the way it peels back. And yes, I have I have experience now. This is what, the fifth time you've written for us, Enrique. And your writing is, as you had mentioned just now, Fareeda, there's a clarity. It's not like when he presents a play, he sort of has a very clear idea. Now, he won't necessarily say, "This is my idea, guys." It's more like I sort of, there's a truth in this piece that I have achieved in the writing of it, and I leave it to you to discover. I hope that's a good way of saying it. So it's not so muddled that it's not like, oh, whatever you make of it, guys. There's something there that is, and sometimes you really have to dig to ring the bell, and you guys just you all did. And in this particular piece, the way the layers unfold, like, when you meet and the fact that you have the shift back and forth, it all sort of matches, right? Like, so you've got this introductory scene of the two of you, and you know that there's something not quite right. You know that you're related, but there's something that feels a little strange. Then you get to hear the doctor talking, and at first the doctor sounds like he's giving a very uh, passionate yet very intellectual discussion. It kind of goes off the rails slightly when he says, when he talks to his wife and he says, "Well, I killed her," and that's when you're like, "What?" All right, something just jarred there. And that brings you into this scene where it just gets stranger and stranger and stranger and stranger until it devolves into, yep, I created a race of vampire clones that are just gonna yeah, kill humanity. And that's kind of just bizarre. It's so bizarre, but it's really well done. Veronica, you're
Yes.
amazing, really. What did you think of this? Tell me how, I'm just working together on this. I'm curious to know how your perspective on how this all sort of came together and what you were thinking when you started it.
Oh, well, we had our conversation, and 2 days later, we got this incredible script, and all of us were like emailing saying, "Oh my God, this is incredible!" And so when you get it, you don't know exactly. It's not necessarily linear for the audience. You don't know what's going on necessarily at first. So I felt, but I had no problem performing it. I don't know. There was so much going on that I could relate to. So I don't know. We just worked on it little by little, and we would get like little notes here and there. So I would kind of understand, okay.
Mhm.
But there's an element of it's very disturbing. And I liked that. It was funny on one hand, but it's kind of edgy and very dark, at least for my character, who
Mhm.
does not want to be cloned,
No, of course.
doesn't want to be coming back.
No, and you're yeah, and it's just the fact that you see the conflict here. You see that Fareeda, really wanted her sister back and was assured, oh yeah, it'll be just like having her back again. She'll remember everything. It'll be the same. And then you come back and it's like, nope, nope, from go, there's something wrong. There's something wrong. And so for this play and the time frame that this play takes, I mean, it would be very interesting to think about, is there a way to expand this piece into something more? Like, can you turn this into a full length or, because I think there's enough material here that you can really go in a lot of different directions with it. But I think for what you've done here, it really does, it's packed. It's very, very packed, and it's got a lot of, like I said, to be able to come up with something that's that multi-layered and in a very short piece is exquisite, I think. So yeah, and it was just so fun to see the way you guys played. I mean, thank you, by the way, in the beginning, Enrique, for making sure that that you told everyone you had this. You really loved sort of absurdist or surrealistic writing because it enters into that whole genre, and part of it is you guys have to sort of find your own reality in that and make sense of it. And once you find the reality, we'll get it. It's hard to do that. I mean, I think at times, especially when you're so used to doing plays that tend to be more like living room dramas or something that has a very specific style or formula to it. If you do a lot of Shakespeare, you get used to Shakespeare. It's like, any one of Shakespeare's plays, it follows a certain pattern. And once you start doing it, it's just like, oh yeah, I got it. I don't know. So, all right, so I want to go back to Jack for a second. With this, I don't know. Do you have any, could you envision this play becoming something more, like expanding it? Do you think that there's a possibility of that for this piece?
Yeah, even in term, I can see the relationship of the sisters expanding. I could see the sister going back to the doctor for help. And let me say we didn't really mention Joel a lot, but my main direction to Joel was, the more you talk about this, the harder you are having, not just going bananas. You are controlling yourself because your brain is what the doctor say, squirming. Your brain is squirming like a toad, and you're just fighting to stay in control of this in front of an audience. And I thought he did that wonderfully.
Oh, he nailed it. He was so wonderful in this. Thank you for speaking up for Joel. I'm sorry. I would love to talk to him if he was here,
Mhm.
because I just love the details of the fact that he had to deliver these monologues. All right. His performance was just it had to sort of come from a different place. He was sort of listening to what was going on there, but yet he was in a whole other world. And just his physicality, he even had the little twitch thing that he kept doing, and you could see that he was he was restraining himself in some way,
Uh-huh.
but yet if you knew that if that really unleashed, this guy was like, he was he was out there. I mean, he just, you know, you don't want to get into a conversation with him because he could explain and rationalize everything that he was doing, but it was just insane.
Well, when you're talking about expanding the play, I think one way to expand it from the scene between the girls would be not to go forward, but to go back. I think the father would be introduced as the character, that there would be the girl again. Oh, my father said I was good with knives. She was a bad girl.
Mhm.
She was a bad girl,
Mhm.
and the difficult girl, the girl who got in trouble. And so I think there's a lot you could put in a play to bring us to this point, rather than thinking how do we go down the road. Well, I'm sure there's a way to go down the road, but I think that what you could introduce, sort of the prequel to this scene, would be very interesting.
Yeah, yeah. There's once again so much possibility. I also love the fact that there were a lot of I just love the fact that you touched a lot on everything, that all the hot button subjects that are going on now, race and gender, you know, all of those things are really sort of integral. And I would love to see how, if we were to, and I'm not saying make it bigger, but if you ever wanted to, you definitely have a very fertile ground for that in this piece. But you need to have a group like this working on it with you, because they're just so wonderful. Guys were so great. I was, yeah, I was captivated by this play. When I saw it, I said, this is really great. And I'm glad that where we put it right in the middle, because it really allowed everybody to give a good, intense focus on it. I don't know. Do you have any other thoughts or experiences you want to share about this? Because it's 20 after. I want to give you guys a little break before we cut to our next show. So does anyone else have any words for our YouTube audience? No. Okay, that's fine. I think we've said quite a lot, and I'm just so grateful to you. Thank you guys for being here, and for getting a chance to be part of this wonderful premiere of your work. I'm so thrilled that we could actually share it with our audience. This was really one of those opportunities to be able to take a situation that became so frustrating on May 4th for me, personally frustrating, and to turn it into something really pleasant. So thank you for being here. So you guys just, you know what, take a little break. I'll let you know when we start again. I'm just going to wrap this up with the audience here and say thank you all so much for tuning in and being a part of this work. We're so grateful to you for not only taking the time to see it, but hopefully for coming to see our work live as well. You know, we don't have an opportunity to do as much live performance as we would like. I hope that we're going to get an opportunity to do that more in the next season and in the coming years. But we're very, very proud of our work as a company, and the fact that we not only do we do off-Broadway shows, but we also have a lot of development work. We work with a lot of really outstanding writers and directors, and of course, incredible actors, incredible artists. So we hope that you'll continue to join us and tell your family and your friends. You know, our mission is rather unique in that, yes, we're a professional off-Broadway theater company, but our goal is to create a level playing field by demonstrating that artists and performers with disabilities and artists who are not disabled, that is sort of a non-issue. Artists are artists, and you know, we want to try to shatter those misperceptions. So we don't even talk about disability a lot. We don't talk about the artists, you know, who are disabled or not. I can say that in this particular intensive, 50%, more than 50%, 52% of the artists who were involved in this intensive, writers, directors, actors, over 50 people, were performers with disabilities. Does it matter? No, it only matters as much as we want it to matter. It shouldn't matter as much as you want it to matter. So, and the work is stellar. It's wonderful work, and I couldn't be prouder. So we hope that you'll continue to join us. Tell your family, tell your friends. Tomorrow we have another wonderful show. There's I know I've mentioned to you before because she's worked with us several times. We have this really, really great play written by the incomparable Kate Allen. I'm very fortunate that Kate has worked with us a bunch, as has her daughter Kira, and her husband, who also works with us. He's on our board of directors. So we hope you'll tune in. It's really funny, sort of in some ways. It connects with tonight's play, but it's in a different way. The play is called 2 Weeks Later. It was directed by the incomparable Stuart Green. Everybody knows Stuart, and you do too. He directed this one, and we have a great cast. We have Helen Cox, Samantha Debicki, Sarah Poland. We hope you'll tune in tomorrow night. So in the meantime, if you like what you saw, go to our website, check out all the work that we're doing. You can see all of our past work. You can go to our archives. You can see all of the shows that we've done virtually, the virtual plays that we did for DRAMAPHEMERA, as well as all of our other virtual intensives. They're all up there, and you can access them, as well as photos and reviews from all of our other past productions. If you really like our work, on the homepage, if there's a donate button at the top of the page, if you just click the donate button, you can support us in that way as well. I always feel weird about asking people to donate money to us. We're a nonprofit, so if you donate to us, it is 100% tax deductible, but more importantly, you become a partner in art with us, and we take that very, very seriously. It's not just throwing money to help us. It's really sort of becoming more of an actively involved in how we grow. So we hope you'll do that. Dear friends, thank you so much. It's 8:25. I am actually going to end this broadcast for now, because in 5 minutes, we're going to go over to Facebook and start it all over again. So we hope you'll join us then. If you missed it, well, you wouldn't be talking, you wouldn't be hearing me right now. But if you loved it, come and see it. If you really loved it, call family and friends and say, come on, we're going to see it all over again at 8:30. Thank you so much. Have a great, great evening, and we'll see you tomorrow night for Kate Allen's play 2 weeks later. Thanks for everything. Have a good night. Bye-bye.